Okay, I'm going to give you an oral and a written task here, and it's all based around debating. I kind of told you to have a little argument over the kitchen table last week, and I hope I didn't cause any trouble there. But I'm going to do it a little bit more detailed this week. Nothing major, but just to pick up the skills of it and learn some techniques. So, all debates are based around a thing called a motion. So, for example, I'm giving you a sample motion here. Sports stars are paid too much money. So your emotion is like a statement that you're given, and you either have to argue for that, so you're supporting it, or else you have to argue against it. Now, what I've written down here, look, is draw lots to see who will support and who will oppose the motion. The reason I say this is because if you always go for the one that you think has the best case at the start, you're not developing a skill where you have to really dig deep and find arguments to support what you're doing. That's a really good skill to have. And there's always a case for everything if you think hard enough. And this is a great skill to develop, I've written down. So don't panic if you don't get the motion you want when you draw lots. Just go for it and try and think outside the box. Okay, what else is key? Use strong language in your debate. So I strongly oppose the motion, or I vehemently support the motion. Very important to use strong language. Okay, I'm going to stick with this theme as I go through some examples later on. I'll come back to it. So here's some key steps to take. Okay, so always plan and be prepared before the debate starts. So pick at least three main points. So this is for your oral debate that you do at home with someone in your house, or maybe you might be able to do a Zoom call with one of your friends or something like that, and you can decide who's arguing which way, maybe the day before or something. It's up to you. Do whatever you can. So plan before the debate. Pick at least three main points. Argue one point at a time. This is very important that you don't muddle your points by bringing in 2 points at the same time or jumping into another point before you finished one. So, for example, firstly, or my first point is, and then give examples to back up these points. So, for example, you can find many examples of this in real life. Just think of blah blah blah. Okay. So let's say for example, I was thinking of my sports stars are paid too much money argument. Okay, so my first point might be, I might say, let's say I drew lots and I had to say that I disagreed with the motion, that they're not, I think they're not paid enough money. So my first point might be that the vast majority of the sports stars actually don't get paid loads of money. It's only this tiny percentage of them do. And anyway, they have a short career and they need to provide for their families. Okay, so they have to think of their families for their life and their career is finished. And that's my second point here. Try and add a moral argument to one of your points, i.e., it is the right thing to do. So if our sports stars didn't get all this money, they could be in serious trouble when they finish their careers and not be able to provide for their families. Something along those lines, okay? To finish, summarize your points. For example, so what have I told you today? Firstly, secondly, etc. Now, here you're reinforcing your arguments. Also, before the debate, try and think of arguments your opponent will make and write down how you will respond to them. Okay, so I might have thought that my opponent was going to say that they have a short career, and I might work out some statistics and say, well, if they're earning X amount of money, they'll still have more than enough to get them through a nice, safe, and comfortable life once they retire from football, or something along those lines. Okay, so what kind of structure do we want to do it? So this is your oral argument. So decide who'll go first. Then the person who goes out first calls out the motion. So, for example, sports stars are paid too much money. And then they make their arguments for or against it. They state whether they're for or against it. Sorry. So I strongly disagree with this argument. And then they make their argument. So I've already made one argument against it, saying about the short career. Maybe my second argument is going to be, you know what, they actually deserve it. These are really talented, cream of the crop people, and they really work hard to get to earn their money, okay? And I'll make a few more points and summarize it. Then debater 2 reacts to some of the points made by debater 1 and gives their argument. So let's how could they react to that? They might start by saying, I note that debater 1 said that they deserve the money. I strongly disagree with that. They only work from 10 in the morning till 2 in the evening, 5 days a week, with maybe a match on at the weekend. and they're doing something they love. It's not as if it's hard work or something along those lines. Okay, then they can move into their own argument, again saying something completely contrary to what the other people are saying. Maybe you could put a moral aspect to it here by saying, why should these people be getting millions of euro when there's people starving in other countries? Or this sport is turning into a business and it's taken away from the values that sport is meant to bring. Okay, then debater 1 will get a chance to react to debaters 2 argument, and then to finish, both people get a short time to summarize their points of view. Okay, so here's a list of some. Where did I put my list now? Oh yes, here's a list of debating topics you can use for this week, and you can use these for the writing test too. So I'll put these up as a tab. All children should have daily chores, or every home should have a pet. Homework should be banned. Children should not drink fizzy drinks. Zoos should be banned. The internet causes more harm than good. If you have a better motion, use that one yourself and draw lots to see whether you're for or against it. Okay. Now the writing task is something very similar. Okay. So here's our written task. So write your motion at the top of the page and leave a line of a gap before you start writing your argument. State whether you're strongly against it or you strongly support it. State your points clearly, giving each point its own paragraph, with examples. State what other people might say against your argument and discredit these ideas. So if you say, other people might say this, but they would be wrong because of this. Finish by summarizing your main points and saying that these points make it certain that your view on the motion is correct. 5, design a poster to back up your written piece. And 6, have a bit of fun. Don't be afraid to be over the top. Okay? And if you want, email me your written arguments, and I'd be very interested to see them. Good luck.